Live from San Diego, California.
We go live to the newsroom with your host
for Nick's Nerd.
Well, hello there, friends. It's me, your host, Nick. It's Nick's Nerd News. Today is August 17th. Welcome in, welcome back. Happy you guys could join us. How are y'all doing? You ready for the summer to be over? I am. It's fucking hot. Jesus Christ, I'm over it, man. It's hot all the time. Not having an air conditioner kind of sucks. If you guys are in the same boat as me, at least. So there's that. Did I talk about the snake last week? I don't know if I talked about the snake last week, but it's gone, I think. Pretty sure. I'm just dealing with ants, right? I don't know if you guys know that problem, but that's a fun fucking problem if you ever have it. But no, hey, that's the summer, right? I mean, can't wait for the winter when there's less bugs out. That's for damn sure. But no, how you guys doing, huh? It's what are we on? Episode 200 million thousand? No, I think we're on 223, 224. No, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I'm happy you guys are here. Can't believe we're in the middle of August already. The middle of August. Oh, 223. Nothing crazy to talk about today, but that's okay. It's not a whole lot going on in August and July. It's kind of a slow month if you think about it. No big movies have been coming out. I mean, I talked about Bullet Train last week. Still haven't watched Prey yet, so hopefully I'll get to that this weekend. Just things going on, normal shenanigans, if you will. But without going too deep into the reads, as I tend to do sometimes at the beginning of an episode, let's just jump into it, shall we? Let's just jump into it. What's going on in the video game world, huh? What is going on in the video game world? Biggest news of the week, though, for sure. Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed to February. Yes, the upcoming Harry Potter game, which was due out, I think, originally in November, has been delayed until February 10th of next year. So that clears up some space in the fall. I mean, I'm not going to have a lot of... I'm going to try and get as many games as I can this fall. Just, certain situations are going on. But we'll see. I mean, I'll have the big ones, right? I'll have COD, I'll have Pokemon. We'll see, though, about some other things. But I am excited for this game, but very sad that it got delayed. That sucks. It always sucks. But hey, hopefully it helps it get better. But hey, that's the industry. That's the world we're currently living in. Hopefully it's better. Anywho, Google is looking into launching games, or cloud games at least, direct from the search engine. So they've been integrating cloud gaming right into the search results. This is from the Nerf report that it is apparently rolling out across all the search results pages if you search games, especially if you use Google Stadia or other cloud services. They've added a play button, which is wild. I guess Xbox Cloud Gaming works as well, which is even crazier. That's the future, folks. That's the fucking future, if you ask me. How it will know what you have, though, is beyond me. I'm guessing your account has to be synced. I don't know. Let's try it, actually. Probably have to do it in Chrome. Let's do this, right? Halo Infinite. There's no play option here. Maybe I should sign in. Hold on. Let me use Edge real quick. Yes, that's me typing. Still no play option. So I don't know how this works. Anywho, we tried. But it's happening. It's coming. We'll see what happens and how it goes in the future from there. So a couple weeks ago, we reported on Destiny, or Bungie, I should say, was suing some people that were behind some major Destiny cheats. Well, how the turntables, because the cheating company Aim Junkies is now accusing Bungie of being ridiculous and absurd, quote unquote. Via Torrent Freak, Aim Junkies has denied that Destiny 2 cheats are illegal or harmful, and Bungie is being a bully, which is ridiculous, because it can't govern its own players. Oh, so they're blaming them for it. Oh, it's because of you that we had to create cheats. Yeah, that's a real great excuse there. That's not going to get you very fucking far, if you ask me. However, the case was dismissed in May. A U.S. District Court Judge Thomas Zilli didn't see enough evidence. That's so funny. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Wow, cheating being sued over. Wild. It's wild to me. Anywho, moving on. Chad Stileski, who is directing the Ghost of Tsushima film, wants to make the movie as 100% Japanese as possible, and I say as much as 100% as possible. I don't even. That's not really a thing. It's because he wants a fully Japanese cast. He wants the film to be in Japanese. The studio, or Sony, I should say, apparently has given their full blessing. And this is per Collider. He was speaking with Collider. He wants to make it like a Kurosawa film, as Kurosawa is one of his biggest influences, he claims. He said, quote, meaning it's a Japanese thing about the Mongols invading Tsushima Island, a complete Japanese cast in Japanese. Sony is so on board with backing us on that, unquote. And honestly, I buy that. He says he's been traveling to Japan since he was 16. He said also, quote, and I think America in general, or at least the Western audiences in general, are getting more and more used to that because of the influence of Netflix and streamers and stuff, where we get so much more of a world content. Will they show up in the theaters for that? I'm banking on yes. If everything else is there, look, if I nail all the other bits, I think I can inspire you enough to get in the car and go to the theater, unquote. That would be kind of cool, actually. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I have no issue with subtitles in live action. It's just subtitles on anime where we run into issues and I can't pay attention. Yeah. Anywho, there's many a naysayer out there that will say that PUBG is dead. Well, it looks like going free to play breathed new life into the game. As now we are learning that ever since it went free to play on January 12th, it has seen a steady, quote, the company has seen, quote, a steady flow of more than 80,000 new users per day, unquote. This is per parent company Krafton. That is crazy. They also said average revenue is more than 20% quarter over quarter. It also noted that international markets outside of South Korea accounted for 94% of PUBG's revenue during quarter two. That's wild. Mobile games, of course. Crazy. I thought Krafton was Chinese. I'm very confused now. Hold on. Anyway, no need to get distracted. But they've seen 80,000 new players a day, which is wild. And we'll see what goes on with that future in the what goes on with that franchise in the future, as PlayerUnknown himself is always working on new things. And in some crazy news, we've learned that Disney will be holding its first ever games showcase. It will focus on Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars, Pixar, and everything else. Obviously, it will happen during D23 next month on September 9th. It will be a digital showcase, and it'll have further updates on Midnight Suns, which was recently delayed. The new Marvel game from Amy Hennig's new studio. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, so probably DLC. Disney Dreamlight Valley, news from Marvel Games, Lucasfilm Games, and 20th Century Games will all be there as well. So look for, quote, reveals, announcements, and trailers for new and upcoming games, unquote. September 9th, it will be on streamed, interestingly enough, 1 p.m. That's cool. So you don't have to be at the D23 convention for that. That's news. I wonder what we're going to learn. We've also learned that, speaking of movie games, but won't be a movie game, Weta Workshop, the team, of course, behind Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogy, well, they've announced a new Lord of the Rings game. But what's strange about it is it will not be connected to the films. It will be based on the literary works, which is interesting, especially since it's coming from WetaWorks, considering they're, known for the films. But I'm wondering what that will mean overall for the game. I'm very excited. Still, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to think like I'm not excited, because I am. It's a new Lord of the Rings game, and it's coming from Weta Workshop, who they're going to be able to make it very, very well. No word yet on a release or anything like that, other than that they've started working on it. We've also learned that Sony, now that they've been putting more and more games on PC, after saying they wouldn't for so long, we're potentially hearing that they may be working on a PC games launcher. So essentially you'd be able to launch the games from a launcher, just like how EA has Origin, Steam, essentially, things like this. There used to be the Battle.net for Activision. I think they still have that. And obviously it would just be for their games. Per Video Game Central, they found something in the files for the Spider-Man Remastered release on PC, which is already getting amazing mods. They found a potential multiplayer mode that was scrapped. There was a independent PC mod. Obviously, we don't know if it's still in the works or if it was ultimately canceled. But it's interesting, though, for sure, to see that Sony was going to invest in that after fighting PC for so long. We've also learned that Overwatch, Activision, Blizzard essentially has announced you'll be able to merge multiple Overwatch accounts into one, and be able to bring everything over to Overwatch 2 when it launches later this year. So if you have Overwatch accounts across multiple devices, I think is what they mean by that. If you pre-order Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 digitally, you'll get access to the campaign a week early. So if that's something you want, instead of getting a physical edition of the game. And then Xbox Game Pass on PC has been hinting at something major. So they updated the background image on their logo on their Twitter, and everyone thinks that it's Death Stranding, based on like the image and zoomed in. It'd be very interesting because I'm pretty sure Sony owns the IP for this, but it's PC, so I don't know. Just like technically you can get Spider-Man running on your Xbox through a browser, playing like the Sony. It's not a launcher. I don't know how it works, but it's. I don't think it's happening. I don't know. Also, we're learning that Call of Duty or Activision may have plagiarized a former art director for Infinity Ward. It's the second time this month. They added a new skin to Vanguard and Warzone that looks like a character from a game called Dead Drop, which is Dr. Disrespect's new game. They claim that Infinity Ward stole it from them. They're like, hey, at least like just name the skin after me, which is very, very interesting. If they, whoa, this does look way too much like it. That's not good. This was reported by Metro UK, so that's not good. That looks way too close. Way too close. We'll see if Activision and Infinity Ward respond. And then our final bit of gaming news here. Reggie Fils-Aimé, who used to be the head of Nintendo America, said that they were working on a adaptive controller, which is for people with disabilities, like Xbox's adaptive controller. He was speaking with Inverse, and Nintendo was part of a industry group working to make a platform agnostic controller. They use the Xbox's adaptive controller as a jumping off point, per Reggie. He said, quote, imagine an adaptive controller that you could play with your latest Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo platform. That's what we were working on 3 years ago. But also my hope is that the controller and the ability for that controller to connect with all the various systems is launched and shared with consumers as quickly as possible, unquote. He did retire from Nintendo in 2019. That's the last anything was heard of the controller. No word yet on if it will actually come out or if it's still in the works. That is it for gaming news today. Let's move on to television. The Simpsons producers have announced that this year, which is season 34, so Matt Selman, the showrunner, says that they will finally reveal, I don't know if it's really reveal, how they are able to predict the future so much. I don't know what that means, because obviously they're all time-traveling people from the future. No, I don't know. But speaking with Deadline, Selman said there's going to be some new guest stars, and saying, quote, a crazy conceptual episode that explains how the Simpsons know the future. Oh, so it's just them dicking around. It's not actually like them telling the truth. But it also offers an explanation. I don't know. I mean, if you're on for 30 years, at some point you're going to get a lot of things right? Like, let's be honest here. It just, that's how things work. So dumb. The Duffer Brothers have revealed that they will do their best to not include any new characters in Season 5 of Stranger Things. Obviously, they can't promise too much, but they will do their best, whatever that means. Obviously, they're going to add new characters. But it's weird to add new characters in a final season, especially if they might potentially die. Netflix has announced that Love, Death, and Robots will get another volume. Westworld finale, huh? What the fuck was that, huh? How do you go on to another season from that? Apparently humanity has to die, which I think they could have done 2 more episodes in season 4 here and wrapped it up. I don't think it needs a full season 5 or beyond that at this point. Of course, they left a lot of lingering questions as per usual. They killed off some of their best characters, and I'm just kind of like, what the fuck was this whole season about? I don't know. I do not know. Do not know what's going on or why they do things. God, we're going to talk more about HBO and Warner Media and Warner Discovery or whatever the fuck they're called now. The John Wick prequel series, The Continental, has found a new home. It's moving from Stars over to Peacock, and it will get a 3-season order. I guess I know it's about the hotel, and I think it's going to be about Winston, the character played by Ian McShane. But I don't think they said they haven't nailed down on like an endpoint for it. But at least we're getting at least 3 seasons. The CW has found a buyer after months of being up for sale. We've now learned that Nexstar Media Group, which owns a lot of local TV channels, this is per Deadline, will acquire 75% of the CW, becoming their largest shareholder. Warner Brothers-Discovery, that's their name, and Paramount Global will continue to own 12.5% each. Mark Pedowitz will continue as chairman and CEO of the CW. Warner Brothers will still make scripted content for the network. And I don't know what's going on with, Paramount. I don't know what channel they're going to have on there. We'll see what goes on with that, though, as that transitions. Amazon has announced the release schedule for the Rings of Power. It will begin with a 2-episode premiere on Amazon Prime Video at 6 p.m. on September 1st, so that's 2 weeks from tomorrow. And then it will continue weekly at 9 p.m. Pacific through December, I think it was. October, sorry, I don't know. October 14th will be the season finale. But 9 p.m. Pacific every week. First 2 episodes start at 6 p.m. Pacific on September 1st. We also got our first trailer for the Wednesday Addams show called Wednesday on Netflix. Of course, a spin-off of the Addams Family, showing off Luis Guzman as Gomez and Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia. And the show actually looks really fun. So it looks like Wednesday is going to some kind of like occult type school that's being headed by Gwendolyn Christie. I'm all for it. It looks fun. They showed the hand character. Who's that? Which cousin is that? I don't know. But it looks really fun. And apparently people are in an uproar online over Gomez being played by a Latino. Like, the dude's name is Gomez. He's always been played by someone who's Latino. Raul Julia, Latino. Like, sometimes, man, people be wildin'. People be wildin' for no reason. For no reason at all, dude. No reason at all. I don't get it. We've also learned that Star Wars Visions Season 2 will be less anime, as we've previously talked about how it's going to be more global, featuring animation styles from around the world, animation directors from around the world, which has me very excited. We've also learned that people were digging into Netflix's code and found that the ad-supported version, the cheaper ad-supported version of Netflix, will not allow you to download episodes. It's funny they say this, because this is a feature that I've really only used once. And I tried twice, but the first time didn't really go well. The second time worked, but again, I don't travel enough to warrant the download feature. So granted, I'm not really going down to the ad-supported tier, but it doesn't bother me. And this is brand new news. It is now being heavily implied that there's a new report that Young Justice will not be renewed for a season 5 at HBO Max, which, honestly, I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there with DC projects, and we're going to talk about that some more. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. They seem to not know what they're doing. Um, and this David Zaslav guy, apparently now there's infighting over the Flash. I don't know why you would cancel a show that literally has some of the highest viewership numbers on the streaming network. It's a show that people have been wanting to continue for a very long time. It was canceled the first time unceremoniously because of toy sales. Like I don't know. I don't know what's going on at HBO Max and or Warner Discovery. It's a clusterfuck over there when it comes to DC. But moving on, let's talk about movies, shall we? And we're going to lead right off into Warner Brothers Discovery. We've learned that Warner Brothers had 3 scenarios in regards to the Flash movie and Ezra Miller. According to the Hollywood Reporter, they had 3 different scenarios in mind. The first would be releasing the film with limited press, and the only stipulation in that case is that Ezra would seek professional help after returning to their family home, and they would have to give an interview explaining their behavior. They would then be allowed to partake in a limited amount of press following the film's release. If these are ifs, of course. The second option was that the film would be released, even if Ezra Miller didn't seek help. They would, though, not be able to participate in marketing or press for the film, which is strange, considering he's the star. Obviously, it's not something that's normal. But he would then be fired from all... They would then be fired from all future Flash projects. The third solution, allegedly... Again, this is all from the Hollywood Reporter. They would just cancel the movie. And because Ezra plays multiple characters in the film, it would be impossible to reshoot and save or recast or anything. It is a worst-case scenario, but it would only happen really if the situation with Ezra continued to deteriorate. Obviously, this was enough to scare Ezra, as they have officially apologized. I don't know how genuine it is, though, given the circumstances. Per Variety, they have given the... this is the statement given by Ezra Miller. Quote, having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I can now understand that I am suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment. I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior. I'm committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe, and productive stage in my life, unquote. This is following their recent charge for felony burglary. Yes, they have a felony now. They are supposed to appear in court on September 27th. Let's see how this goes for them, though. We're also now hearing more stuff about Batgirl, and it doesn't make sense. There's rumors that they want to get rid of Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. Again, wouldn't make sense. We've learned that the Batman 2 from Matt Reeves is not officially greenlit and years off from actually coming out, which you greenlit Joker 2, but not the Batman 2. Who the fuck is in charge over there? Now we're hearing Greg Berlanti might be the Kevin Feige type that they're looking for. Greg Berlanti, of course, led the Arrowverse over at the CW. They want to keep Leslie Grace as Batgirl, but now there's also rumors that she may have turned them down because they straight up canceled her movie that she was supposed to be in. We're also hearing that they want to either do a soft reboot and kick out Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I don't understand what they're doing over there. And then with the Young Justice cancellation or non-renewal, I do not know what the fuck is going on. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just very confused. obviously what they were doing before wasn't exactly working, but whatever they're doing now is just pushing people away, if anything. So it doesn't make sense. Like I said, it doesn't make any plausible sense in what they're doing. Meanwhile, they've worked out a deal with MGM and Amazon to release all MGM films internationally, but obviously not James Bond, which, again, that's very weird too. So MGM has ended its partnership with Universal Pictures. I guess James Bond and a couple other movies will still be handled by Universal Pictures. So I don't know what's going on at Warner Discovery. I know I said last week that, hey, it's possible that Zaslav learns what to do, but the man was running a network that just only focused on reality TV. So I don't know. It's a total clusterfuck over there, and I hope they fucking figure it out. But it then also obviously release the Batgirl is now trending because that's what happens nowadays. But it was taken away from us. That's a ridiculous thing. Yes, it was. But anyway, now an actor per IndieWire who has decided to remain anonymous has said, quote, "None of these things matter to an imbecile like Zaslav. His cowardice is breathtaking. I'm glad I got to participate, and I wish the best for all of those involved, except the suits at Warner Brothers. But they all get replaced sooner or later," unquote. That's funny because they kind of have been had like a carousel of executives over there lately. They even said, quote, "I'm very offended by what happened and feel terrible for the directors and Leslie Grace, who are all wonderful to work with, as well as all of the technicians. It was an enormous rewarding challenge to make this movie during COVID and during the cold weather in Glasgow," unquote. And obviously Zaslav had this stupid defense that we talked about last week. But I wonder if that's Michael Keaton. But as of right now, this is everything that's been canceled. Strange Adventures, which again was Berlanti and Kevin Smith. Batgirl, the Wonder Twins, the Supergirl movie might be canceled. J.J. Abrams' Justice League Dark might be gone. The Superman reboots might be gone. We know this Green Lantern series is good. We know Peacemaker Season 2 is good. And obviously the Arrowverse is slowly dying. I don't know what's going on with everything else. Also, we learned that Blue Beetle is safe, but animated DC movies might be in trouble as well, which, strange, those are usually cheap. So we'll see. But for now, we'll continue to cover the turmoil at Warner Brothers-Discovery. And in surprising news, the Academy of Motion Pictures has done one of the greatest things it could have done in a very long time. They are officially apologizing to Sacheen Littlefeather. If that name is unfamiliar to you, it probably is, because it happened 50 years ago when Marlon Brando won for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars for The Godfather. He sent her up to accept his reward and essentially be a voice for Native Americans. The Hollywood Reporter reports that they have sent a olive branch, essentially, to the 75-year-old woman to be invited to an evening of reflection at the Academy Museum and has been offered an official apology. She is quoted as saying, "I was stunned. I never thought I'd live to see the day I would be hearing this, experiencing this. When I was at the podium in 1973, I stood there alone," unquote. Essentially, Marlon declined the award. She was booed, mocked, flipped off, essentially. Yeah, that's Interesting. I guess John Wayne threatened her. That's interesting. Of all people. Um, I don't know. Um, she says it's long overdue. She's happy it's happened. Um, so she's happy about a lot of the changes that have been made, um, and the doors that have been opened for Native Americans in this country, and in the media. Especially, she said reservation dogs, even though she doesn't swear like them. We've also learned that there's another Saw movie coming. Why won't that franchise die? And then Rogue One is returning to IMAX theaters next week, and will include a special featurette on Andor. So next Friday, IMAX theaters, you'll be able to watch Rogue One again. And then our final bit of movie news kind of sucks, but Steve Martin has essentially said that he's like done. He's not officially retiring, but he's essentially said that he was interviewing with the Hollywood Reporter, and he said that, quote, "When this television show is done, I'm not going to seek others. I'm not going to seek other movies. I don't want to do cameos. This is weirdly it," unquote. The 76-year-old actor clearly wants to take a step back. He wants to slow down. I don't know how much longer the Only Murders in the Building is going to go. I know they just had season 2. He also said, quote, "My wife keeps saying, you always say you're going to retire and then you always come up with something. I'm really not interested in retiring. I'm not, but I would just work a little less, maybe," unquote. Oh, it's already been renewed for a 3rd season. Okay. The 2nd season airs its final episode next week. Okay, so it's still going and has another season left. It would suck to lose Steve Martin because I love Steve Martin. Literally one of the funniest men in Hollywood, and has been for a very long time, ever since he even started on Saturday Night Live back in the day. If you don't know a lot about Steve Martin, I would urge you to definitely change that and watch as much of his movies as you can. Father of the Bride, which are considered some of his best movies, are on, I think we're just added to Disney Plus. So check those out there. I personally love The Three Amigos. He did that with Martin Short and Chevy Chase. Again, 2 great men. But I get it. I mean, he is slowing down. Obviously, he's not in as many things as he used to be. Three Amigos is on Hulu. Obviously, he's not in as many things as he used to be anyway, but he's not going to go out searching for things, which, again, understandable. But thank you guys for listening to Nick's Nerd News this week. It was episode 223. Thank you guys so much for listening week in, week out. Like I said, I'm going to try and watch Prey this weekend. I did start The Sandman. First episode was really good. We'll talk about more when we get to more episodes. But with that, thank you guys again for listening. As always, check out nicksnerdnews.com, where you can listen to the show right in your browser if you like. Or if you prefer to listen on the go, you can find our links to our Amazon Music page, our Google Podcasts page, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and several other places, if I'm not mistaken. That way you can like, share, subscribe, poke, prod, leave comments, upvote, downvote, things like that. Also, while you're there, don't forget to check out our social media tab, where you guys can see our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds all in one handy-dandy fun place. Or just search Nick's Nerd News on your preferred social media platform of choice. And with that, I will catch you guys on the flip side.